Hello. So this is a very special recording and this is happening from Thimphu, the capital of Bhutan. We are on a short holiday here, Meena and myself, and such a fascinating experience on the first day. We have a wonderful guide with us and his name is Pema. Pema in their language means the lotus. He had some very interesting updates to give about this place. You must have already known that this is one of those 100% organic farming countries in the whole world. The second interesting thing about Bhutan, this is the only country in the whole world which has got a negative carbon print, which means they have much more of oxygen than carbon dioxide in the whole system. How does this happen? Simply because there is so much of attention paid to keep the country clean, unpolluted, to keep the country alive with its natural resources intact. And you can see that probably in every aspect of life. I believe the total population of this country is closer to a million, and they are measuring their gross national product, not in the same way as most of the countries measure their economic well-being. This is probably the only country in the whole world. Can you imagine? A country which is looking at the emotional well-being of its people and is looking at the gross index of happiness for the nation. Amazing. So its cleanliness, its environment friendliness, its organic farming commitment, its commitment for emotional well-being, all of this, besides the reality that it is a small kingdom, a slightly underdeveloped country. I would any day grant that this development of the mind, this development of maturity is far superior to any measurably tabulated economic index of whatever kind anywhere else in the world, in any other country. So I was wondering as to how does this happen, and in this conversation with Pemu and in the behavior of the people out there on the roads, in the streets, in the shops, in the various places was absolutely mind-blowing. Every citizen has almost a sense of personal responsibility towards the social good. And you can see in very simple gestures, like the way they drive extremely carefully and cautiously. There is no honking around. You can't see people doing things in a mad rush. There is very respectful giving of the way. And most of the people attempt to cross the roads only at the zebra crossing. But even then, the motorists, the moment they see, even a little bit away, somebody crossing the road, they pause. Not like our Chennai roads where the vehicle, the two-wheeler or the four-wheeler will come crashing, almost wanting to hit you and throw you off the road. I think it's about the mindset and attitude. The other thing is this beautiful little slogan-like statement that Pemu made.
My waste is my responsibility. Yes. So every citizen to be a responsible to keep our country clean, and then they have to. It's their responsibility to take care of their waste. After all, who is the responsible for our waste? It's our responsibility, right? Yeah.
And he said, in our country, your waste is your responsibility. Now listen to this carefully. Your waste is your responsibility, which means they're saying that whatever wasteful things are you creating, for example, whether it is plastic or, kind of paper wraps, anything that you normally tend to throw, anything that becomes a surplus after you have unpacked something like packing material, they believe that it is your personal responsibility. And you need to make sure that it is put in the right place, in the right kind of dustbin or bin. I think that's a tremendous lesson for us to learn. We may say things like, your cleanliness is your responsibility. I think it's more powerful when you say that your waste creation is your responsibility. You better clean it up. And then I was looking at this social behavior, which is so positive, which is so proactive. And then a few things struck my mind. Culturally, a population like this demonstrates maturity, social consciousness of a much higher order. They may be simple, they may not be very rich, they are understanding and sensitive. They are very sensitive to other human beings. They are not into some wild goose chase and a mad rushing of things. They are patient and they hold themselves back and give way to others. You can see that in their walk, in their talk, they are patient. They are not rushing into some kind of mad. There is focus and discipline. The smallest of things, the slightest of action is done with a reasonable amount of carefulness by the individual commoner citizen, who, by the way, may not be even on an average level of assessment equivalent to an Indian average citizen. I would dare to say that the mature behavior and the responsibility that one shows towards other people and the environment is qualitatively of a much, much higher order. And there's a lot of appreciation about the king, the ruler of the country, and the amount of care that he takes to educate the general public about social good and being responsible. All these were very, very interesting kind of inputs. And what stayed in our mind was some of these very important points that Pema made about the uniqueness of Bhutan and the commitment of the people to keep its culture, its special quality so very pristine. When he said that we take care of the environment, we respect our environment, as we crossed various streams, we never found any of them dumped with any kind of waste. It was so visible and clear. The second thing that he mentioned was they do not allow all their mountains to be climbed by all kinds of random tourists. The whole place is clutterless, is not destroyed by over-enthusiastic population doing all kinds of things. And when he talked about this respectfulness, including the way people cautiously drive, how the motorists first give the way to the pedestrians to cross and pause. Yes, we saw this behavior right on the streets out there. And the other important point that he talked about is the wealth of Bhutan is its environment and its cultural heritage. And you could see that happening on the environmental front with all its cleanliness. We could see that they are encouraging their youth to pick up and practice those arts and crafts and architecture which is so very unique to Bhutan. The king and the government encourages the youngsters to pursue what has been traditionally the strength of Bhutan related to its arts, artifacts, crafts, and architecture. We witnessed that also across Bhutan. It's worthwhile to pick up and take back to our country, especially to the Chennai city, maybe to begin with the state of Tamil Nadu. Your waste is your responsibility. I know it's a humongous challenge. You're talking about patience, focus and discipline, sensitivity and caring. I know it's a huge challenge, but I think our job is to keep talking about it and to keep educating about it. We got 4 more days in Bhutan. I'm looking forward to not only enjoying this beautiful country, the snow-capped mountains of Himalaya, and this awesome, wonderful, mature behavior of the people. I'm looking forward to picking up some learning, maybe some learning about humility, being humble, and to paying attention to your immediate environment, creating a good socio-ecological system. Maybe I'll bring back some learning. So till then, all the very best.